Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Spice and Wolf episode number 3 reaction. So the previous episode, the journey began. Lawrence and Hollow started their journey together, and they came across like a place where they met a dude who brought them like a new like a business opportunity, which was basically like something which had to do with like the coins. And like he kind of explained how some coins will be replaced by some new coins, but the new coins will have more of the amount of silver that the old coins have. So his plan is to buy more here and sell them in foreign countries, where obviously the valuation will be based on the amount of silver that is there. So that is his plan. But Hollow realized he's lying, because Hollow can get that feeling when someone lies and everything. So Lawrence is now going to go along with it and see what's going on and what the actual trick is. If he's able to find it out, he might be able to make bigger, better money from it. So that's what he's planning now. So he's acting as if he is interested in it, but he's very cautious. So we're off to this new place where he's supposed to go. And also another thing happened. We got to know a little bit about Lawrence's past, where it seems he was attacked by wolves and he was the only survivor. And like that whole thing happened. And also Hollow also kind of showed how she was also probably hunted by humans, just like yeah. And that whole thing happened as well. So yeah, let us see what happens today in this episode 3. Let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Think it whichever is your preference, and let's get started. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Positive. Okay. Yeah, there's a huge queue. Face, why? Oh. Ah. I doubt anyone will recognize her. Okay. Jack Brown tail. Yeah, but she's not showing her ears or tail. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, obviously she's feeling. I guess you could say it's a complicated feeling. Like she was supposed to be in that village, protecting, not protecting, but like giving bountiful harvests, and everyone like knew her before, and everyone worshipped her as like a deity. But then as time went on and on, everyone started forgetting her and everything. So it's a complicated feeling, just like, yeah. Port Town and Sweet Temptation. Nice. Yeah. Hey, yo, your tail. So excited, it's just. Yeah. Damn. She just wants to eat. Okay. Well, yeah, she was. I wonder how much that. One silver coin, I think. Oh my god, that's a lot. She- oh no. Well, she has her food, so you know. Okay, she ate everything. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah. You gain no benefits from it. Wow. Interesting. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Collect a lot of information. Yeah. Zeren. That dude, yeah. Grand Expedition. The number of. Hmm. Wow. Damn, that's a businessman. Senator Martin. Hmm. Okay, she's observing him. 132 coins of training silver. 140. Okay. Okay. Did she feel anything? I was surprised. Okay. What? she's like, oh, you know what I'm talking about, am I not? The first of Martin. That's a lie. Two large meters square. So she's saying that the wolves were actually quite healthy and good. That's why right. So she's like the quality is better than usual. The- 160? 200. Yo, that's a huge jump. At first he three silver coins per. Ah. Bruh. Wow. So he gained at least 80 or more so trainee coins just because of those apples. One silver coin that he invested. Wait. No, she's wise, as she calls herself, wise wolf. Ah. So was this a whole coincidence? She bought the apple, probably, and she just used that to her advantage. Yeah, because of the apples that she bought. Yeah, obviously, Lawrence, come on, man, you should understand that. You didn't realize that? What? Come on, Lawrence. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Wanted to share. Hmm. Yeah. Really? Okay. Ten. 10. 10. Okay. Yeah. I see. Interesting. 3 days. Hmm. All right. Hello. Was he telling the truth? Damn. Oh yeah, she's drunk. Yeah. Wow. What are these names? Yeah. Okay. Really. At least four types of mid-swing. Yeah. Ah. Okay. Oh, this. Hmm. Okay. 700 types of. Yeah. Well, have gone much higher than. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. What is that? Bread? What is that? No. Maybe to defeat. Oh. But then what did Hollow feel? Okay. One kind is dominant or country's market. Yeah. This is the motor. Oh. Okay. Yeah, why would she get mad? Because she's like. Acquaintance of my. Okay. Limited plans to. I see. Right. Well, okay. This dude. Weiss, that's his name. Yeah. 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 Okay. Newer to. Okay, let's see if. Oh. So. Okay. Oh, her ears. Yeah, she has wolf ears. She can. She knows. She's obviously she's not going to tell him that. She knows. She realized. Yeah. Yeah. Well, obviously, if she tells it to him. Good God. Okay, yeah. So, did it dollar newer coins? Wait, so that means yeah. Good. Yeah, but if it decreases, yeah, how do you even? Uh, wait, so oh, because of that? No, the value increases. I see that. But that it's just a. Uh, yeah. Okay. Ah, change perspective. I see. Yeah, that's a good point. Money with the silver that's dropping in value. Dropping in. I do wonder. Oh, by using the. Oh, yeah. By buying. Okay, I see what he's going to do. He's going to buy it in, like, the barter system. Like, he's not going to exchange with money. I think he's first going to exchange with money. Because, wait. Yeah, no, wait. Something like that. He's going to do something regarding that. I need to properly think first. First of all, the value is going down more and more. So as time goes on, the value will decrease. So if you no, wait. Now the valuation, now the purity is more. In the future, it will decrease. So the value will still be the same, like the currency value. So the amount of fur you'll be able to buy and sell will be the same now and back then as well. So Okay, I cannot wrap my head around what he's going to do, but he's going to do something like that. He's going to make use of the disparity to trade, like and sell later something. Okay, that's it. So yeah, like I said, I cannot really wrap my head around it properly, but he's definitely going to do that. As you know, the whole exchange thing that he does, the bartering system, and where you buy stuff based on goods, not based on the currency. So one thing that he can do, and since the purity of the coin will fall in the future, now it's higher, then what's going to happen the purity is going to go down, so the value of coins will go down later. So since now it's in high amount, like since now the valuation is more, maybe he can sell them. No. Right, okay, like I said, I cannot wrap my head around it. This is yeah, like right. Like I understand what he's going to do, but I cannot properly explain or properly figure it out what he's going to do. But I feel like I understand like what he's trying to do, but I don't know like the details of what he's going to do. It's a bit it's a bit complicated, Right. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, like I said, like now the value is higher than when in the future it's going to get lower. Like not the now the value will be the same. Purity will decrease. So if the purity decreases, so like he said, he can use like okay. Here's the thing. First of all, the initial thing that he thought he was going to do was he got the information that the purity will increase, which is how it usually goes. From a lower value it goes to the purity will increase, as they said that talking about the foreign currency and everything. So what Lawrence planned on doing is like not buy but get a lot of those coins now, and later on, since the valuation will be the same but the purity will increase, he'll exchange that for the newer ones, and then he's going to sell it like outside in some foreign country, which is going to increase the amount of money he gets. That was his initial plan. But if it goes down, the purity goes down, that means the current currency is going to be valued more than later. So if he exchanges the current currency for for whatever stuff that he buys, and later if he sells, okay, I think I got it. So what he's going to do now, I think he's going to exchange his money that he has to buy something. Like he got a lot of training coins for the furs that he sold. So he's going to take that money and invest that on something, I don't know, like maybe like wheat or whatever he's going to buy, some kind of material he's going to buy from it. The amount he'll get, he'll keep it for the future when the purity of the coins will go down, and then he's going to sell that outside, not here, somewhere else, where he's going to get an equal valuation of the amount he spent. Then with that money he's going to bring it back here, and since now the purity has decreased, he'll be able to gain more money. Is that what he's going to do? Something like that, I think. Like what the plan is like buy a lot of raw materials now, and later on sell it to some other, not later on, but he can sell it now even, to some other foreign country or places where he's going to get the appropriate amount. Now later on, when the trainee coins valuation will go down, he can maybe reinvest it back. Like he's going to come back here and exchange the foreign currency for the new currency and get make a profit from that. Is that how it works? Like I said, I'm not really well versed in these type of things, like economic stuff, but I feel like it might be something like that. I might be completely wrong though. So yeah, it's just something that I thought it might be something like that. Anyways, next week we'll get to see what he's planning, but for now I feel like that's what he's going to do. Right. Anyways, So there you go. That was today's episode. So today's episode again had a lot of information. Like obviously this show is like a dialogue-based show, so we're going to have a lot of like dialogue-based stuff and a lot of like like as we can see economic like related things. So today's episode, a few interesting things happen. Let me talk about them first, and then I'm going to go into detailed discussion. First of all, Holo loves apples, and she buys a lot of apples. That whole scene, and then we can see she uses that as an opportunity to sell the pelts at a higher valuation. And now here's the thing. I doubt this was pre-planned. I feel like she probably realized that this is an opportune moment, like an appropriate moment to use this and trick the other dude and get more money from him. That's why she did that. Obviously, I doubt she pre-planned this and bought the apples for that. Yeah, and no, this isn't Death Note. Like, obviously, I doubt that is the case. She probably just bought it she wanted to eat it, and then she realized, wait a minute, maybe I can use this, the smell that is there, maybe I can use this as a leverage to gain more money. And that's what she used, using appropriate weapon at an appropriate time. That's what she did, and was able to get a lot of money. And obviously, the reason why she was able to do it is because she's extremely wise, she's very experienced. As she said, she saw this type of an method was used back in her place, back then in that village, when like some other merchant came in or whatever. Like they used this technique, so she remembers it, and that's how she did this. So that's how Lawrence was able to make a whooping at least 80 trainee or more than that profit. So he invested like 1 trainee or something for the apples, and he was able to get so much out of it. Like, and here's the funny thing. I was like, wait, isn't this literally just deceiving someone? You're just deceiving. Obviously, Holo talks about how, the wolf's pelts might, since you can smell the fruit scent on it, it must, like, like the pelt of the wolf that had the pelt on, they were like good and plump wolves who had a lot of like like healthy stuff, and that is why the luster and whatever the quality of the wolf pelt will be so much more than normal pelts. And that's why she was like yeah, we're not going to sell it for this low. So obviously that's a whole lie. Who knows whether the wolves were actually like Holo described? Probably not. It was the scent of the apples, so it was a whole lie. So I was like, okay, like, is this like are we supposed to like trick people like this? But then when later Holo said that, yeah, obviously this is like a merchant, like they're merchants, both of them are merchants. The fact that he was able to, like, that we were able to trick him and was able to get an upper hand on him, even if he realizes that, he shouldn't hold it against us if he's a true merchant, because that's what merchants do. Like, their wit and their like if they're able to make a profit out of like deceiving other people, also all well and good. The fault lies with the other person, since they got deceived. Like, there's literally that type of a world here. And they're businessmen. They aren't doing charity over here. So, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I guess makes sense. Like, like, yeah, like if you're able to trick someone and like sell your wares at a higher amount, like they shouldn't hold it against you, especially if they're merchants. Like, because merchants themselves do this. Like, it's kind of like a situation where like I would probably say that I would not be comfortable with them tricking normal people, like people who aren't really in the merchant thing, or like normal people. If they trick them, then I would probably be like, yeah. But since they're tricking merchants, I feel like it's fine, it's fair game, because this is basically that. Like, just think about a situation like this, where you are someone who, I don't know, like, okay, here's the thing. You're a thief, you steal stuff from other people, obviously that's not okay. But if you steal stuff from another thief, I feel like it's fair game because they do the same. It's kind of like that, I guess, in a way. So I think it's fine because they did it with like a merchant. So like that's what he said. That's what Lawrence said, that he was a merchant. He got tricked. If he holds it against us, then I'll be disappointed. Like that kind of thing. So yeah, like it makes sense. Right. And then there was the other, that was another interesting thing. Another thing we get to know today is that this dude, the guy Zeren, I think that's his name, they say that in the end they kind of realized that maybe he wasn't doing this on his own, like plans. Someone else was putting him up against it. And I'll need to read that whole section. I need to properly understand that. I understood most of the stuff, but I feel like I need to understand it in more details. So I'm going to read that whole section and properly see what's going on. But for now, what I understood is that someone else might be putting him into this, and he's just like probably like a man in between who's like probably going to get a profit out of it. But that's it. The main mastermind is behind him, and they're doing this probably for some kind of a reason. Right. And then obviously we also got to see the whole part where they realized that the purity of the coins are decreasing. So that's another thing we got to know. And obviously Lawrence is like, what to do? Like, if it increases, then I can make a profit out of it. If it decreases, what am I even supposed to do? But then, like I said, I think maybe that's what he's going to do. Like, he's going to invest now in raw materials and sell it outside somewhere where he's going to get an appropriate amount. And then when the value decreases, the value of Trinity decreases, he's going to come here and exchange the money that he got from selling those to the new one, and use and obviously, since the value of it, the purity has decreased, he'll be able to gain more money from out of it, and then use this more money to reinvest in some more raw materials, which is going to take outside and sell it, or something like that. Maybe he's going to do. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not really well versed with stuff like this, like economic stuff. So I might be completely wrong. But let's wait and see, and let's see how this goes and how he makes a profit out of it. Because in the end, we saw it seems as if Lawrence has a good plan. So let's wait and see. Okay, yeah. So that was today's episode. A really good episode, and I feel like you cannot like lower your guard in this show at all. Like, you have to properly understand and like read each and every like word that the characters are saying. Otherwise, you'll get lost in this whole thing. Like, and it's difficult. I know, like sometimes there's a few animes where you have to like completely pay full attention. Especially like shows like like Monogatari, Tatami Galaxy. Shows like this, you cannot lower your guard. If one sentence you kind of misread it, or it doesn't get inside your head and you misunderstand it, it's going to mess up everything after that, and you're literally not going to understand anything. So like it's very important to pay full attention to these shows. Like, otherwise it's just going to mess up and it's not going to make any sense. So yeah, let's see. And I'm now going to go through this episode scene by scene and see if I've missed something or if I misunderstood something. So yeah, that was my initial impression of this whole episode. So let me talk about it in details now. Okay, the very first scene, we get to see Hollow and Lawrence are on their way to this place. What was the name of this place? Wait a minute. What a grand town. Pazio, yeah. So they are in Pazio. And Lawrence, Hollow is like, oh, does a king live here or something? And he's like, oh no kings. There's like merchants and like stuff like that. Like, there's no kings here, and some noble people, royalty people stay there. So Lawrence asks Hollow, like, is it okay if she doesn't have to hide her face? But Hollow's like, oh no, like I doubt anyone will recognize me. But Lawrence is like, but people know rumors about you. If from that village, they'll realize it's you. At which Hollow's like, no, they'll not remember me. So she explains that the legend of her legend is basically how people like describe her as a wolf with a obviously with ears and like a whitish tail at the tip and like brown tail with whitish tip, like literally like explains who she, like what she looks like, at which Lawrence is like, well, yeah, so they'll recognize you, wouldn't they? At which Hollow's like, no, nobody remembers me either way, so they'll not recognize me at all. Now you can see obviously Hollow's a bit sad about this because, like I said, it's a complicated feeling. Like she is supposed to be hiding her identity over here, but at the same time, the fact that nobody will recognize her, even from the village where she used to live, is kind of sad because I'm sure back in the day she was probably very much well loved by the villagers, you know, and she probably everyone recognized her, and like she was like the deity of that place. Back when she made a promise with that person that she talks about, back then. But then as time went on and on, the church came in, everything other, a lot of other stuff probably happened. People started forgetting her, and nobody will probably recognize her now. So the fact that she has lived there for so long and people just forgot about her, and it's a sad, sad feeling, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, so they go into the village, into the town, and there's a lot of stuff going on over here. A lot of merchants selling stuff, and Hollow gets very much interested in apples, and Lawrence is like doesn't really say anything, but then when Hollow's like, "Come on, like buy me like the apples. I want to eat the apples." Lawrence is like, "Okay, fine, here we go." So he hands her over one coin, and he says, "Buy how much whatever you like." And she uses the whole thing to buy like a cart full of apples. Obviously, the apples were on top of the pelts, so which comes in handy later on. But for now, Hollow's just having a good time eating those apples. And when Lawrence tries to take one, she's like, "Don't touch my apple. It's mine." And Hollow does say here that, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just one coin worth of apples. I'm going to make way more money. Later on, as And Lawrence is at first Lawrence doesn't really trust her that much. Obviously at the beginning because he didn't believe her completely that she'd be able to help him get money. Or didn't really have that much faith, I guess you could say. But immediately gets proved wrong later on, as we saw. When Hollow literally sold the pelts for a huge amount of money. Yeah, she kept her part of the bargain. I would say she probably didn't only keep the part of the bargain, she probably overshot the whole thing. Like Lawrence probably thought she's going to even if she's able to help, how much did he think that she'll be able to bring in extra money? Maybe like 20 training, maybe 30 maximum. But as we saw, Hollow was literally able to increase the profit by at least 80 to 90 training coins, which is huge. Like he literally got double of what he was initially going to get paid. Like that's how crazy it went. Okay, anyways, so here Hollow's ate all the apples. It's just all gone. Right. Okay. So here's the thing. I'm going to read this part. I need to understand this section. When Lawrence and Hollow goes out again, Lawrence says, "We'll be selling the furs at Milone Trading Company over there." Hollow looks at it and says, "I believe they were bigger buildings on our way there here." At which he says, "This is the third largest trading company here. Third largest. Okay. However, this is just a branch of a very large company that is well established. So here it might be third largest, but this is just a branch in a country further south. In other words, they often purchase items at a higher price to compete in the market as outsiders." Wait a minute. I need to understand this. It's a branch of large company, okay? In other words, they often purchase items at a higher price compete in the market. Oh, I see. So he says that they to compete here, they has like they buy like materials at a higher rate sometimes to compete here in the market as outsiders. On top of that, they're able to collect a bunch of information from their various branches. I see. So it's like a right. Okay. Since they run a trading company that crosses borders, they might be sensitive to the changes of the currency market. So these branch companies helps them do exactly that. Okay, I see. Understand. I want to investigate the information that the young man called Zarin gave us. Right, so they're here in this Milone trading company. Right. So, this dude, the one who's going to be trading with him, he comes in and he's like, oh, Mr. Lawrence, and like he remembers his name from back then. So now Lawrence is like, I'm going to trade these fur pelts, the wolf pelts, here. So high quality ones. At first the guy says like, I'm going to give you 132 coins of trading silver. At which Lawrence is like, okay, I would like to continue our good relationship, so, a little bit more maybe. And at the end, he says like, okay, no, the guy says, okay, so taking into future our relationship into consideration, 140. So at first he says 132, then he says like, okay, 140. So 8 coins increased. At which Lawrence is like, okay. At which Hollow stops him. And Hollow's like, is this okay? Wait a minute, where's that part? I know nothing about the market. How is the price? So here Hollow asks him how the price is to properly gauge how much more he can extend this. So if he said something like, oh, it's a bit on the lower end, Hollow probably would have increased it at even bigger, like a number. Or if Lawrence said that, oh, it's a bit high, then she probably would have done a little bit lower. Based on the, how the price is now, she probably would have extended or decreased the amount she could, stretch the amount later on. That's what she does. So she probably asks him this question because she had to gauge the amount that she can, gain more out of it to properly understand that. So Lawrence is like, oh, it's fine, pretty good. Okay, so now Hollow starts her thing. She's like, oh, 140 training coins. I see you're a merchant of exceptional caliber. Wait, is that why you act as if you act as if you haven't noticed? If so, we cannot easily let our guard down around you. So she's like, oh, you're pretty good, aren't you? Do you know what's happening? Is that why you decided to keep quiet about it? If that's the case, then we'll have to be more careful with you. So she's insinuating that, oh, you must understand what's going on. Now this merchant is baffled. He's like, wait, what? What is happening? Have I missed something? He doesn't understand what's happening. Obviously, neither does Lawrence. So Hollow acts as if Lawrence understands everything, and this was just a way of him testing him. To I feel like she did that so that Lawrence can have the upper hand here, because Lawrence himself had no clue what Hollow's going to do here. So the dude was like, my apologies, have I missed something? What are you talking about? Hollow's like, Master, please refrain from such bull. Obviously Lawrence has no clue what's happening. Hollow still says please stop it, stop this bullying. Lawrence realizes something is going on. He doesn't know what's happening, but he decides to play along. Lawrence is like, oh, yeah, that wasn't my intention. Obviously, he has no clue what's happening, but he still goes along with it because he knows that Hollow's probably going to do something. And that's why he's like, let him know. Because Lawrence has no clue what's happening. That's why he's like, oh, let him know. At which Hollow's like, okay, Yes, definitely. And this is where Hollow starts her plan. So she says, "Sir, please take a whiff of these pelts." Um, the dude is clueless. He's like, "What is happening?" And he's like, "Wait, this is a scent of fruits." At which Hollow's like, "Yes, the forests also have produced much fruit this year. These are the first of martens that lived in such a forest. They filled their bellies with so much good food, bodies exude a sweet aroma." And he's like, "Oh wow, yeah, that's true. These marten pelts are of the highest caliber. That proves that. It took two large men to skin and treat them, as their bodies were so firm." Now here's the funny thing, she tells, "Try pulling the pelt." Now here's the thing, this is normal pelt, it's nothing that Hollow's describing. But because she was able to like convince the dude that this is actually high quality pelt, like whatever he's going to do from here onwards, even if it's completely normal, it's probably still going to convince him that, oh, this is better. Like, sometimes when you're so convinced about something that you fail to realize that that's not what is going on, like, because your mind has already accepted that, oh, this is good quality. So this was some normal pelt probably. And when she says like, "Oh, pull the pelt," he pulls it, and in his head it's already like locked in that, oh, this is some good pelt because of the smell. So he pulls it, and even if it's like some normal pelt, he'll probably think that, oh, this is way tougher than that it usually is. It's like I guess like a mental trick, I guess it probably is played on him. And Hollow's like, "What do you think?" "It's as resilient as a fierce beast. It can warm you like sunshine in spring, ripple the moisture of the rain." Basically, it's good quality stuff. On top of that, this scent, imagine how much would this shine amongst other clothes. Now, obviously, the smell won't be there. It's just going to go away eventually. But as Lawrence says later on, it's his fault for getting tricked. This is merchant business, We trick others, we get tricked. Like, no hard feelings, that kind of thing. So yeah, Hollow's like, good stuff, you can see it yourself. I'm sure you can sell them at an incomparable price. And he's like, "How much will you pay for this?" So he increases the amount to, how much did he increase it to? 200, I think. 200. At which she's like, okay, but how about 3 coins for each belt? So 210. So there's 70 belts. Okay, so how about that? And he's like, at first he's like, but then Hollow's like, "Oh, but okay, if you're not really okay with it, let's try to find some other company." Because we have to remember they're the third largest here. There's 2 other options. So he's like, "Okay, fine, take it, 210. Oh god, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. And okay, here's the funny part. Lawrence didn't even realize that the smell was actually from their apple. Like, he thought that it actually had the smell. He's like, "Oh, I never realized that there was a smell there." At which Hollow's like, "Come on, like it's the smell of the apples that I bought." Okay, here we go. "I never noticed that it had, okay, that's," and she's like, "Oh, it's because of those apples that I bought." And he's like, "Wait, that means," and there you go, this Hollow's like, "Yeah, it's his fault for falling for the trick, like, yeah, we're merchants. Like, we aren't tricking the normal people, we're tricking people who tricks others. It's fair game." And she says, "Well, I would not go as far as saying that, but I'm sure he will be impressed to know the existence of such a method," which is true as well. Like, I guess it's like basically giving him like a recipe that he can use in the future. He might be able to gain more money using this method than he lost today. At which Hollow's like, Lawrence is like, "Yeah, you're probably right. People who are easily angered from being tricked will never get far, especially in this business, Like I said, I feel like I would have felt bad if they were doing this to some ordinary person, like a normal person, who's not a merchant. They did it to a merchant, so it's fine. It's okay. It's all fair game there. A true professional would be impressed at being beaten. Right. Anyways, so there you go. That was that part. So Lawrence says that I wasn't able to find any information about some newly coins being minted or anything like that. He's like, something is going on. So later on he meets Zaren and he asks him like, what's happening? Give me the details. Okay. Here we go. So here is where Lawrence says that, so you got this information from somewhere. Are you sure about this? At which Zaren at first says like I'm not really sure. I cannot give guarantee. Business is never a sure thing. So yeah, I can just give you what I heard. I cannot say that, oh, it's authentic. At which Lawrence is like, okay, if you said that it was authentic, then I would immediately leave, because that would be a blatant lie. So yeah, I believe you for now. So what he's going to do now, so Lawrence says, what's your share? How much do you want? So he says, I like 10 20 silver coins for this information and 10% of your profits. He says it's very conservative. He says, well, I hold no responsibility if you end up at a loss. In exchange for keeping it at a 10%, I'm hoping that returning your 10 silver coins will be enough and end the deal if you take a loss. So here's the thing. I literally said this in the previous episode. I was like, what is the point of this? If he's lying or if he's trying to trick him, he's only going to get the money if he makes a profit. So what's the point in lying about it? It makes no sense. Exactly, that's what he says. He says that, like, if you lose, like, if you don't get the profit, then obviously I'm not going to get the 10%. So I'm keeping it at a lower amount of 10 Trini coins for the information, so that if you don't make any profit, I can return it back to you. So he's literally saying that I'm not going to trick you, or I'm not going to take your 10 Trini coins and run away. Because again, these are people who share information, or basically in the merchant business. Being honorable goes a long way. In case in the future you decide to keep doing business with the other person. If you lie and trick someone and take their money and try to dip, you'll never be able to do business with them in the future. And they'll probably tell their friends that, oh, you know this guy? Keep away from him. So it's a more loss, I guess it's more loss than profit, than in doing something like this. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to return it back to you, just in case, if something happens. So Lawrence is like, okay. He says the settlement date will be 3 days before the large spring market next year. I believe this will happen before the end of this year. So they're like, okay, let's make the contract tomorrow. And yeah. All that aside, next we get to see Lawrence is teaching Hollow the coins, what each coins are. And here we get to see there's a lot of different coins. And a lot of fake coins as well, which Hollow asks why are there so many different coins? At which Lawrence says, places new cities grow, new rulers come in, new kings come in, kingdoms fall, kingdoms get up, build, new kingdoms form because of that. And he says where's that part? Yeah. As new kingdoms rise and fall, powerful and the church keep minting new types of coins. On top of that, counterfeiting never ceases. Lewd silver coins were usually called fake Trini silver coins, stuff like that, he says. And there you go. That's that. Next, we do get to see they made the contract. Zaren and him shakes hands. So he leaves. Now Lawrence is like, Hollow's like, which one's the Trini coin? And he's like, oh, this one. And he says that it's a highly trusted coin in this area. She's like, trusted? Yeah, there are several hundred types of currency, and the amounts of silver and gold in them often change, which makes sense. Value of a coin is much higher than a silver or gold in them, which also makes sense, That is why trust in them is needed to make transactions. Okay, so what do you make of it? At which Lawrence says, I'm not sure, but I have some ideas about it. So here's what Lawrence says. He says that, okay, wait a minute. His story may be true if it has to do with tranny silver coins. Because as he says, that the tranny silver coins, it has a lot of credibility behind it. So he's like, he cannot lie like that. This is a filling silver coin. It has a high percentage of silver and is popular in the market. It should be considered tranny's rival coin. No matter the area, the value of a coin has always depended on the power of that country. Makes sense? Yeah, if foreign currencies dominate a country's market, obviously that will mean that the economies, they get trapped economically. It's the same as losing in a war. True? In other words, they may be increasing the amount of silver in their coins to defeat their rival. And he says yes. That is why Zeren may not necessarily be lying as you had thought. At which Hollow says, like, well, my ears are not perfect, And, Lawrence thought that she's going to get mad, but she's like, no, I'm not going to get mad because of that. Okay, a few other things he says. An acquaintance of mine has a currency dealer there. It's hard to tell the purity of a currency accurately. Even so, the reason certain currencies rise and fall in popularity because people are sensitive to the changes of purity in silver and gold. Enough to think that a small change is a huge one. That is why there's always some kind of indication when a currency undergoes a big change. There's no, okay. Okay, so Hollow says like, okay, I understand. When the minter plans to make a great change in the purity of a coin, start with small changes to monitor the market's reaction. That is why, obviously, like this guy can help him out. He'll probably be able to shed more light into it. This his friend of his. Okay, so this dude, is like obviously immediately he goes to Hollow. He's like, oh, Hollow, what a good name. Will you stay with me? Will you marry me? This and that. She's saying. Okay. So Lawrence is like, wise. I have something to talk to you about. And he says like, the purity has it changed, like the tranny coins. I've got information. So he's like, all right, let's see. So he brings the coins from older to newer. So he's like, nothing changed. Even people like me who handle money every day haven't noticed any changes. So obviously they cannot melt and check it, I guess. So Hollow's like, can I see them as well? Again, taking this opportunity, he literally grabs her hand. Oh boy. Okay, so Hollow is like, please watch. Puts it in her hand, kind of rings it, Okay. Does it a few times and finally her ears kind of twitch. Lawrence realizes something has happened. And Hollow's like, nope. Unfortunate, I couldn't realize anything. Lawrence realized she's lying, obviously. So they get away from there, at which Lawrence is like, come on, tell me now. Did you figure out something? And he's like, yeah, I figured it out. And she says, you've been good at tricking others to answer. Obviously, Lawrence realized that she's probably keeping it quiet so that, if she shares it with him, then I guess he'll probably get in on this business venture of there, and it's going to get way more complicated, and they'll gain way lesser money than they would have. So it was a good idea to keep it quiet. And Lawrence realized that, so he didn't say anything at that time. When they came outside, he started talking to her. Okay, I'm surprised you didn't say anything. At which Hollow's like, it was my way of thanking you. He's like, what thanking? You were jealous earlier, were you not? It was to thank you for that. There's no need to be bothered by that. Males are all jealous idiots, and females are idiots who feel happy about such things. Good God. Oh, Lord. The world is full of idiots. Okay, so he's like, what about the coins? She says, it was very gradual, but the newer coins sound duller, so its purity has decreased. Okay, so here is Lawrence like, what am I supposed to do with that? And he's like, that means Zarin lied. Okay, now here, okay, I need to read this part as well. So it's easy to make a profit if the period of silver and gold were increasing. Makes sense, like I said, you buy it now, like, and with the amount that you buy later on, if the value is still the same, you exchange it for, like the newer ones and go outside and sell it for a bigger amount. That's how it goes, if it increases. Simple process. But he says, if it decreases, okay, no, if it increases, all you have to do is buy up the old coins, exchange with the new ones, there you go, and then sell it later somewhere else. However, if the purity is decreasing, it's hard to make money even if you know ahead of time. You could buy them up when their value decreases. Buy them up when the value decreases, but you need starting funds for something like that. That is also true. You can do that as well, as Lawrence says. That's true. But as he says, you need starting funds for something like that. And it'll be unlikely to make a profit in half a year. True. I have no idea. How does Zarin plan to make a profit from this? It's true. He's like, what was the point of him lying? Like, what did he get out of this? Hollow's like, you might have been tricked. How did he get tricked? Yeah, you mean he swindled me 10 coins from me? Now, she's like, no. If the value of training silver decreases, the kid will return the 10 silver coins, which I also think, yeah. Like I said, since this is business, you need to be authentic. If you trick someone like this, it'll bite you later in the eventual future, so yeah, he'll probably return it. However, okay, at worst he couldn't make any money. On the other hand, if the value increases, he turns 10% of the profits without risking any money. So Lawrence Hollow is saying that, yeah, he basically, what he's going to do is that he gave this to you, this opportunity, and he told you that, oh, look, the value will increase. Even if the value doesn't increase and you make no profit out of it, it's fine. He's not going to get anything and he'll probably return the money to you. So no profit, no loss. However, if you are somehow able to make money out of it, and if you actually get profit out of it, you will have to give him 10% of it. Which means he's literally either he's not losing any money nor gaining any money, or he's gaining money. There's no loss. Loss doesn't exist here. Either he doesn't get anything or lose anything, or he gains something. That's basically it is. Basically based on luck. Yeah, kind of like that. It's based on luck. And the situation. Not only luck, but the situation as well. Even if he has no gains, he has no losses. There you go. And he says, okay, I see what you mean. Humans are so quick to understand. I can't believe it. Such an elementary mistake. Okay. She says, is it common for the purity of silver to decrease? At which Lawrence is like, no, the purity of a silver coin should be maintained. Yeah, it should never go down. And she says, we suddenly received information about the purity of a coin at a time like this. Is it truly a coincidence? Now, I don't understand what she's trying to imply here. So she's saying that, she says, someone else is behind this. But why would they? Okay. There are times when we wolves climb up to a tree when hunting a prey. We change the perspective, the forest looks different from atop a tree. Change my perspective, okay. Perhaps that kid isn't the true swindler here. That kid may not need to receive benefit directly from us. He may be asked by someone to bring this deal up to others. Yeah, I doubt he brought it up only to Lawrence. He probably did this to a lot of other people as well. A few people invested, a few people didn't. He says, I see, I figured it out. The way you can make money with I'll talk about this part later. Before that, let me talk about something else. Hollow says that someone must be behind this. So, a big fish behind this. So, they gave such an information just before some, like, like a situation like this where the value is decreasing. So who is the one who would profit in such a situation? Let me think. The value is decreasing. The value of money, or the purity of the money is decreasing. If he like makes a rumor like this, where he tells this Zeren guy to spread a rumor like this, where he says that the purity will increase. A lot of people will fall for it, a lot of people won't. People who will fall for it, as they say, is neither gain nor any loss, so it's fine. They will be probably invest in this, because neither the people who's investing in this is going to gain anything, or they're going to lose anything. But who is going to gain in this situation where a lot of people who heard this rumor will invest money into this? Probably, wait, they're gaining money, and yeah, I feel like maybe it's one of the trading companies who made Zeren spread this rumor, because if no, not the no, never mind, not the trading companies, no. Okay, I'm not really sure, but I'm sure we'll get our answers little by little. But for now, Lawrence is like, I figured out a way to make money with a silver coin that's dropping in volume. And he says, let's go. Where? Okay, so yeah, I think, like I said, to Millionaire Trading Company, he is going to invest the amount that he got from selling the fur into buying some raw materials. So he's going to take that raw materials, probably sell it somewhere outside. If he does that, he'll get the appropriate amount that he used to buy it here. Later, if the value of the tranny coins purity decreases, he can use the same amount of money that he gained by selling it somewhere outside as foreign currency. He'll bring it in, and he's going to maybe like exchange it for the new, like money. He'll make a profit out of it, because he sold it back when the value was more, the purity was more. But now, since he's exchanging it for a foreign currency, and now that the purity has decreased, he'll probably get a profit out of it. Something like that maybe he's going to do. I'm not really sure. And this also makes me think, like, whatever method Lawrence is going to make, this is just what I think. It might not be exactly this what he does, but whatever he's going to do to make a profit out of this, the person who told Zeren to spread this rumor is also probably betting on this method to gain more money out of it. So something like that. I'm not really sure. Let's wait and see, and see what happens. Like I said, this show, I remember watching this show back when, like almost like 7 to 8 years ago, 10 years ago. And yeah, there's a lot of things that I didn't understand back then. I feel like, it's like I said, this show is a bit complicated, especially because of this whole economic, like these things. But I think I'm able to keep up until now, at least. Let's wait and see how this goes. And, if I'm able to keep up, I'm sure I will. No, hopefully, yeah. But yeah, anyways, but I'm having fun. That's what matters the most. So that is it. Thanks for watching. This was my reaction to episode number 3 of Spice and Wolf. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And that is it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Spice and Wolf. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.